Now, during your direct examination by me, sir, I had asked you, with regard to your conversation with Mr. Hayes, the attorney for Mr. Dillon sitting behind me, whether you spoke about anything other than just directions to get to your home. And you told me, and if you want, we'll play it back, that you told me the only conversation you had with him, sir, was directions, correct? Yes or no?
I believe that's what I said.
Yes. And that was
that's
only
what I remember.
4 or 5 hours ago, right? Correct? Yes?
Correct.
Right. And you heard Mr. Hayes acknowledge on the record just 10 minutes ago that that was not true, that in fact you spoke substantively about the subject matter of this deposition. You recall him saying that, sir?
Yes.
Is his recollection correct?
I assume so. Is he under oath?
Is his recollection correct? Or do you wish to maintain your testimony that the only thing...
No,
Sir, let me finish or we'll start all over again. As busy as you are and as important as you are, this is an important case, and the jury is made up of important ladies and gentlemen, and they're entitled to hear your testimony, sir, in response to a question. As important as you may think you are. All right, sir? They're just as important as you are.
Entitled exactly, probably more so.
Is it your testimony, sir, now, that the only thing you discussed with Mr. Hayes was how to get to Westport, Connecticut, or do you now wish to recant that testimony and adopt Mr. Hayes' comment that you went further and discussed substantively the subject matter of the deposition and the lawsuit? Which is it?
Check the form of the question.
Damned if I know. I said I'm going to tell the truth.
Well, you said you were going to tell the truth, sir, to quote you.
The truth about what the subject at hand, not a conversation that I had.
Do you wish to take a break, sir?
No.
Are you upset?
Okay, we're on the record. My name is Mark Brady. I represent Dole Reporting, located at 369 Lexington Avenue, New York, New York. I will be the video operator for today. Today's date is 7/17/96. This is the case of James Damiano versus Sony Music Entertainment Incorporated and Bob Dylan. And the case number is 95-4795. We're here at the home of,
Eric von
Shmidt, located at 38 Evergreen Avenue, Westport, Connecticut. This is a deposition of Eric von Shmidt. At this time, counsel will identify themselves.
Stephen Kramer for the plaintiff.
Stephen Hayes, Parcher, Hayes and Liebman for the defendants. At this time, I have the court reporter swearing the witness.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give in this case is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Mr. Shmidt, have you ever given a
Von Shmidt.
Von Shmidt.
We are being accurate here. We're telling the truth.
Forgive me.
No, nothing to forgive. Just want to remind
Mr. Von Shmidt, have you ever given a deposition before, sir?
No.
Okay. This is a proceeding just as if you were in the federal court in Camden. The jury will be viewing you with U.S. District Judge Simandl.
Yes,
so it's important that you understand that the solemnity of such a proceeding applies here, even though we're at your
Actually, I
home
feel
here
it's
in
more
Connecticut.
solemn here than it would be in one of those courtrooms.
Well, it's quite beautiful here, and we thank you for making this available to us.
You're welcome.
Mr. Von Shmidt, what is your profession, sir?
I'm a painter, writer, and musician, songwriter, actually, and musician.
And can you give us, just so the jury can get a feel for you, since you won't be there in person, could you give them an idea of perhaps a recent piece of work that you've published, a book, a song, whatever?
Well, it's been a while since anything has been published. The last major painting that was published along with an article that I wrote was in Smithsonian Magazine, and that was in '86, and it was a fold-out on the Battle of the Alamo. And also last year, in the musical sense, I had a CD that came out that had mostly my own, actually all my own songs except a song by Leadbelly, and that's on Gazelle Records. You can get it down at the shop there, hopefully.
And in terms of any books in the past 10 years that have been published, can you give us an idea of those?
A book called Baby Let Me Lay It On You, actually Follow You Down, has been republished by the University of Massachusetts Press, and that's an illustrated history of the Boston and Cambridge folk years, and is co-authored by Jim Rooney. Thank you, sir.
Let me now take you back to the point in time that brings us here today, Mr. von Shmidt, if I may, sir. Were you in England in 1963?
Yes.
And did you have occasion to be in the presence of Mr. Dylan?
Indeed.
And could you just explain to the jury in your own words what brought the two of you in the same room?
Yeah. I was flew over on January 1st to meet Dick Farina, who was a writer and a folk singer, and we were going to involve ourselves in a number of activities, one of which was to make a record. The other was to record some musical pieces for a movie that I was working on at the time, and also we were hoping to sell his novel, Been Down So Long It Seems Like Up to Me. So we had a lot going there. And it turned out that Dylan arrived in London about the same time I met Dick, actually shortly afterwards, and I believe it was on a tour of Odeta's, and he was with Albert Grossman, and that was how we bumped into him. To tell you the truth, I'm not exactly sure how Bob connected with Dick Farina, and I believe it was through that meeting, and I happened to be with Dick at the time, and I had already met Bob.
Okay, thank you. And let me focus, if I may, on a song by the name of The Franklin. And can you tell me, if you recall, any conversation between the writer of that song and Mr. Dylan in England at that time?
Yeah.
Object to the form of the
well,
question.
the writer of the song is unknown. This was a public domain, a folk song that has been around for probably a couple of 100 years. So he obviously wasn't there.
Okay. Do you know a person by the name of Martin Carthy?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and who is Martin Carthy?
Martin Carthy is a British folk singer, and at the time was singing in the coffee houses. Was not well known. I don't know if he had ever made a record yet, but he specialized in old British folk songs, and I believe the song that you're speaking of, the Lord Franklin, was in the canon of British folk music. It was well known, and probably in numerous versions of it, and but you know, Martin. It was when I heard Martin play it, it was the first time I'd ever heard it.
Do you recall any conversation at that time in London between Mr. Dylan and Mr. Carthy about that song?
Well, I can explain the circumstances of hearing it, and that was Bob and Richard Farina and I had gone down to a club, and I forget the name of the club, but that's not particularly important. I'm sure it's on record somewhere. And Martin was playing, and Dick was anxious to have Bob and myself to meet Martin, and so we heard him play, and one of the songs he played was the Franklin.
Do you recall during that general period Mr. Dylan inquiring of Mr. Carthy about the song?
Well, when after the set was over, I believe we had already met. I think I'm unclear about whether we met Martin. I think we probably all three of us met him before the set began. That's Dylan and Farinya and myself. And then after the set, Bob left us, and we continued sitting in our chairs, and he went, and I don't even know if, I can't remember what it was, a stage. To say backstage, I was probably wrong. It was just up on the slightly raised stage, and talked to Martin about, I don't know what. But I wasn't there, and I didn't know what occurred at that time.
And was that the only time that you were present when you saw Mr. Dylan and Mr. Carthy together?
Yeah.
Now let me take you to the United States, so to speak, after that trip. Do you recall hearing a song on a Bob Dylan album called Bob Dylan's Dream?
Well, I just vaguely remember the name of it, but yeah, I heard the album. Mm-hmm.
And do you recall having any response after hearing that song?
Yeah, I thought, gee, that sounds a lot like Lord Franklin.
Mr. von Shmidt, is it your testimony, sir, that other songwriters have taken songs in the public domain and have, to use your words, made them almost a note-for-note clone of their own songs, and then proceeded to advise the United States Copyright Office that they are independent creations, copyright them for the purpose of securing money?
Can I ask a question? Can I do this yes or no?
If you don't understand the question,
I don't understand the question.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. You're telling the jury that in your view it was proper for Mr. Dylan to make his melody, his song, Bob Dylan's Dream, which was, in terms of its melody,
yeah,
almost a note-for-note clone of the Franklin, that it was proper, in your view, for him to have done that, to copyright it, for the purpose of securing exclusive rights to royalties. Is that your testimony to this jury, sir? Yes or no? Or you don't understand the question? Those are your three choices.
I'm trying to think if I've ever done it. I don't think I have ever taken a public domain song and sang it exactly the way. In fact, how do you know a public domain what exactly the song is? Because it is played by various people, and so I would...
Sir,
yes.
my question again,
okay,
for probably the 15th time,
okay, go for it.
Yes, no, or you don't understand the question. Because I want to focus you on getting a responsive answer, sir.
Yes. Okay. It is proper to use a public domain song if you feel you have made sufficient changes in it to say that the melody is yours.
And you told Mr.
It's done all the time.
You told Mr. Hayes, sir, that when you were in England, in the presence of Mr. Carthy performing the song,
Yeah.
and Mr. Dillon being present, that Mr. Dillon and Mr. Carthy, you viewed them conversing, correct?
I assume they conversed.
Right. Do you look at number 1, sir, of the affidavit, the declaration?
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall stating under oath, sir, penalty of perjury there, that, excuse me, not only did you view them, but you said that you were present when Dillon questioned Martin Carthy
Yes, I was
about,
in the
excuse me,
room.
let me finish the question, sir. I'll start all over again. Do you recall saying under penalty of perjury, and do you acknowledge today, that you were present when Dillon, and this is one of those yes or no questions, sir, when Dillon questioned Martin Carthy about his ballad, The Franklin? Yes or no?
I would have to say yes.
Okay. And do you recall stating, sir, that when you heard Dillon's song, Bob Dylan's Dream, and discovered that the melody was almost a note-for-note clone, that you were quite surprised? Do you recall that? Yes or no? Or you don't understand the question?
Quite surprised. Where
look
do
at
I say I
paragraph
was
2.
quite surprised?
Look at paragraph 2, sir.
I was quite surprised. There's where I say it, paragraph 2.
All right.
Yeah.
And do you
yes.
Okay. And do you recant anything that you said in this sworn declaration?
Yes.
Okay. You now recant it? Yes or no? You now recant it?
Yes.
Okay. And you're now recanting it after having had a conversation, just so we get the sequence here?
Yes.
The sequence for the jury's benefit, sir, is July 3rd, you and I having a conversation, yes?
Yes.
July 3rd, you and I faxing back various versions of a declaration, correct?
Yes.
You eventually signing the declaration of
Yes.
sound mind and body, correct? Correct, sir?
Correct.
Okay, then, in the sequence, you had a conversation with Jeff Rosen, Mr. Dillon's publicist, correct?
I don't know if he's his publicist. I don't know what he does for.
Forgive me. That you had a conversation with Mr. Rosen,
Yes.
who you understood was the person, the representative of Mr. Dillon, who you should reach if you ever wanted to reach Mr. Dillon.
Yes.
Okay. Just so we get our sequence clear. And then that was 4 hours ago, correct? Approximately?
4 hours ago.
The conversation with Rosen.
Yes.
Okay.
With
And now,
Jeff.
4 hours later, approximately, 4.5 hours later, you are now telling the jury, sir, under penalty of perjury, that you wish to recant certain portions of your sworn declaration. Is that, do I have the sequence correct?
Yes.
And, of course, you don't mean to suggest that the conversation with Mr. Rosen had anything to do at all with your decision to recant.
It did not.
Excuse me, let me finish the question, sir. We'll start all over again.
I never know when you're finished.
I'm sorry. It's
Give me a hand signal, okay?
sir. I will try, sir. May I continue?
Yes.
And of course, the fact that you're recanting a portion of that declaration 4 hours after conversing with Mr. Dillon's representative, actually 2 representatives, Mr. Rosen, 4 hours ago, correct? And how many hours ago was it with Mr. Hayes?
Whenever he called.
So it was today?
Yes.
So 4, 5, 6 hours ago?
I would assume.
Okay. But it's purely coincidental, you're suggesting to the jury, purely a matter of coincidence, that your recanting of your sworn declaration comes just a few hours after having conversations with 2 of Mr. Dillon's representatives, correct? Just purely coincidence.
Yes.
And the jury should not draw any inference or suspicion, should they, Mr. von Shmidt, from your decision to recant portions of that declaration having come just a few hours after conversing with Mr. Hayes, and Mr. Rose and two representatives of Mr. Dillon. They shouldn't draw any suspicion
Objection.
from that, should they?
I don't know.
Should they?
I don't understand the question.
Should they draw any suspicion, sir?
Objection to the
Yes or
following
no?
question.
I don't...
Yes or no?
No.
Now, during your direct examination by me, sir, I had asked you, with regard to your conversation with Mr. Hayes, the attorney for Mr. Dillon sitting behind me, whether you spoke about anything other than just directions to get to your home. And you told me, and if you want, we'll play it back, that you told me the only conversation you had with him, sir, was directions, correct? Yes or no?
I believe that's what I said.
Yes. And that was
that's
only
what I remember.
4 or 5 hours ago, right? Correct? Yes?
Correct.
Right. And you heard Mr. Hayes acknowledge on the record just 10 minutes ago that that was not true, that in fact you spoke substantively about the subject matter of this deposition. You recall him saying that, sir?
Yes.
Check.
Is his recollection correct?
I assume so. Is he under oath?
Is his recollection correct? Or do you wish to maintain your testimony that the only thing...
No,
Sir, let me finish or we'll start all over again. As busy as you are and as important as you are, this is an important case, and the jury is made up of important ladies and gentlemen, and they're entitled to hear your testimony, sir, in response to
Indeed.
a question, as important as you may think you are. All right, sir? They're
think
just
the
as
jury
important
is
as you are.
entitled exactly, probably more so.
Is it your testimony, sir, now, that the only thing you discussed with Mr. Hayes was how to get to Westport, Connecticut, or do you now wish to recant that testimony and adopt Mr. Hayes' comment that you went further and discussed substantively the subject matter of the deposition and the lawsuit? Which is it?
Check the form of the question.
Damned if I know. I said I'm going to tell the truth.
Well, you said you were going to tell the truth, sir, to quote you.
The
Let me
truth
wait
about
for the
what the
question.
subject at hand, not a conversation that I had.
Do you wish to take a break, sir?
No.
Are you upset?
Oh, I'm pissed.
Are you agitated?
Same thing. I'm
Okay, let's
at
take a
your...
break. Let's take a break.
If you insist on a break, I'll take a break. If not, let's keep going.
Okay, and I would only ask you now, probably for the 20th time, sir, to please let me finish the question. Don't interrupt me. If you feel you need to raise your voice and bang the table, I can't stop you. This is
I'm
your
not a
home.
lawyer, I'm a painter.
But you understand the concept, be it a painter, sir, you understand the concept of perjury, don't you? You've made that clear to me.
Telling the truth,
Right.
that's what that
And-
is.
and
Yes,
you
I understand the
understood-
concept of telling the
Okay,
truth.
and you understood when you signed that sworn declaration, sir, under penalty of perjury, signing it after having been given a number of drafts, having had the opportunity to make corrections, having faxed to me a letter in which you told me you wanted to talk to me and make corrections, that you knew when you signed that it was under oath, yes? Yes?
Yes.
14 days ago, yes?
I don't know. Yes.
Well, look at it, sir.
You do the math.
July 3rd and today's July 17th. That's 14 days, yes? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And you knew when you signed it, sir, under penalty of perjury, that that was a serious matter, yes?
Yes.
It wasn't a walk in the park, was it?
I frankly don't believe this is happening.
Sir, I'm not here, and the jury isn't here, nor do they care, sir. Nor do I care whether you believe it's happening,
Yeah.
whether you believe this is an imposition in your time. You're, sir, here to tell the truth. And we want to find out which time you're now saying is not the truth.
All right.
The time you, excuse me, I'll get to ask a question. The time you swore under penalty of perjury in Exhibit 1 that you saw Mr. Dillon converse with Mr. Carthy about the ballad, the Franklin, and then
I
were
was
surprised.
present. I was present. I didn't say he was conversed. I was present
And you were
in
present.
the room.
and you were sufficiently present, were you not, sir, that you knew, as it says here, that you signed under oath, that he was questioning Mr. Carthy. He, Mr. Dillon, was questioning Mr. Carthy about the song, The Franklin. Don't you say that in Exhibit 1? Yes or no? Don't you say that?
I was present when, yes, but I wasn't there. I didn't see him. If he talked to Martin Carthy in, 100 yards away, I know he talked to him, but I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, what did you tell the jury what you said under oath they were talking about, sir? Paragraph 1. Read that. What you said they were talking about on July 3rd
about
before
the
you met,
Franklin.
before you spoke. Tell the jury what you said under oath they were talking about before, sir, you spoke with Mr. Jeff Rosen of Mr. Dillon's organization.
Okay, I was present in England in 1963 when Dillon questioned Martin Carthy about his ballad, The Franklin.
Okay. And you don't say there, do you, sir, in that declaration, you don't say, do you, I didn't hear what they were talking about.
You wrote this, Spitz wrote this.
Sir,
I didn't write it.
Answer my question, sir. With regard to the declaration that you signed, I mean, that is your signature, yes?
Yes.
With regard to the declaration that you voluntarily signed, sir, is there any reference in there to your not having heard what they were talking about?
No.
Is there a reference, sir, in that statement to any reference at all, sir, to Mr. Dillon's melody not being almost a word-for-word clone? In fact, it says that it's almost a word-for-word clone, doesn't it?
That's what Spitz said.
And that's what you know, sir?
Yes, it is. It's Spitz's words exactly, and it's right on that exhibit.
And did you acknowledge the accuracy of it by signing it under penalty of perjury?
Unfortunately, yes.
Well, whether it's unfortunate or not, sir, is for the jury to decide.
That's for them to decide.
Or for you.
Indeed.
Or for you.
Indeed.
But now, after all this time, and after having spoken to Mr. Hayes, Mr. Hayes being Mr. Dillon's attorney, having spoken to Mr. Rosen of Mr. Dillon's organization 4 hours ago, you now, sir, wish to tell this jury, I think, that there are portions you now wish to recant of that declaration. Is that what you're saying, or are you sure you want to say that?
Check the form of the question.
And
I can't hear what you say. Am I supposed to be able to hear what you're saying?
I'm just stating objection to the record.
that's all I have.
I just have a couple more questions, Mr. Von Shmidt. Sorry to take advantage of your time, but just a few more questions.
Can I say something off the record here?
Well, why don't I just finish that?
Okay.
A few more questions. Okay. Mr. Von Shmidt, I'd like to draw your attention to this declaration that Mr. Kramer prepared for your signature, particularly paragraph 1. It is correct, is it not, sir, that you were present in the room when Mr. Dillon spoke to Martin Carthy. Is that correct?
That's right.
You saw him speak to Martin Carthy.
I saw him go up to the stage, and I think he talked to Martin Carthy.
And so far as you know, sitting here today, he may in fact have spoken about the Franklin. You just don't know one way or the other because you weren't within earshot.
Exactly.
Okay. So really what you're doing, Mr. Kramer used the word recant your testimony. To be more accurate, sir, to say what you're doing is clarifying your understanding at the time you signed this declaration?
Exactly.
Secondly, in paragraph 2, where there's a reference to the statement that the melody for Bob Dylan's Dream was almost a note-for-note clone of the Franklin. It is in fact correct that as best you can recall it sitting here today, the melodies of Bob Dylan's song Bob Dylan's Dream and the public domain folk song The Franklin are very similar. Is that correct?
Yes.
And whether you may be correct or incorrect in your recollection of that because so many years have passed since you've heard the two songs, the fact is that is a good faith statement that, to the best of your recollection, is accurate, correct?
Yes.
And so all you're also doing here in your testimony today is clarifying that the use of the phrase clone may be inappropriate. Is that correct?
I'm saying that I wrote an oral history once in which we took tapes And by the way, as far as I know, these were from notes by Bob Spitz. The tapes that we took and then transcribed had lots of ums and you knows and things like that. And when we used those quotes, we sent to the people that are you being quoted accurately? We did that. I never heard a single thing from Bob Spitz about what he said in that book. He never sent me any communication. When the book came out, the book came out. It was the first I saw of it. And I know that there's certainly one thing in that Steve here said, used from that book, which is a flat-out lie, and that it was a miscommunication. The word clone, I do not believe I would have said. I think I said it sure as hell sounded a lot like it, and Spitz said, as we were talking and he was taking notes, you mean it was like a clone? And I might have said, yeah. But just from my own speech pattern, I doubt if I used the word clone. It's just that it sounded a hell of a lot like it.
Okay. So what we're saying is that the essence of the Declaration
are Spitz's words, not mine.
Right. But the fact that you were present in a large room where Mr. Dillon spoke to Mr. Carthy is true, correct?
That's right.
Okay. And that to your best recollection sitting here today, the melody of Bob Dylan's song, Bob Dylan's Dream, is very similar to the public domain folk song, The Franklin, correct?
Yes. And I would also like to say that the discussions with you and with Jeff Rosen in no way affected what I feel is telling the truth. And in fact, I had already started to look at some of these faxes and thought, wait a minute, these are Spitz's words that Mr. Kramer is writing down here, not what I told Spitz.
And you realized that only after you'd signed this declaration?
That's right. And unfortunately, I signed all these things within a couple of hours. And I was working on a painting, and Mr. Kramer called just about the time the guy from the fire department called for donations, and I get a lot of calls, and it stops me from a flow of creativity, and I just, for one thing, I couldn't even believe this was really happening. This is an absurd suit.
So when you got this declaration that you did sign from Mr. Kramer, you didn't go over it word for word with a concern about whether you'd be questioned about whether every single word
Absolutely not.
was 100%
Absolutely not.
the correct
I am
word
not a
used.
lawyer.
But the essence of the declaration, that you were present when Mr. Carthy and Mr. Dillon spoke, is correct?
Yes.
And the essence of the second paragraph, that to your best recollection sitting here today, there is a similarity between the public domain song, The Franklin, and Bob Dylan's Dream, is correct?
Yes.
No further questions.
That's what I thought this was all about.
No further questions.
Okay, this is a video operator. This ends the pictures for today at 4:04 p.m. on July 17th, 1996. We're off the record at this time.
Thank you, Mr. von Shmidt.
Well.
Be well.